Welcome in, welcome now. Would you allow the power of you now? That's right, it gets weird bombindoed up in here, but it's real deal when you come up here because it's about knowledge here, your levelsome. All your critiques, let them alone, I don't care. Do you? What do you care about? Do you care about knowledge or do you care about critiques? If you care about knowledge, leave it right here. Then you know you're going to learn how to just let go and flow here. On this Marsday, June 9th, 2020. Here we go. You see C-A-N in English? Can. Reduces to a 9. Straightforward level. Looks like a chopper, helicopter. Does levels up, levels down. Aeroplane does the same thing. A boat do this in its way, in terms of anchoring and such. Do you know how to do this with your internal ether, your internal atmosphere? I will, and have been, giving you the essence, the feels on how to do this as you allow your listen to any of these trips. Listens, but even more so, listens along with absorptions implemented into self-awareness. An upgrade in knowledge. Can. 9. Reduces to 9. How you know? You want to learn how to appreciate the word, the 9 real quick. There's a tons of ways. You think can is the only word that reduces to a 9? No way. This is just one example of infinite many. You can go first understanding the opposite of can, which is can't. And that can't reduces to 11. Now you see this would be an inappropriate use of your infinite tools here. Now what do we have here? We have the human species, which means anything else that the human species walks on is on this level plane here. Now listen, folks. If you want to feel, if you think that the earth is a ball, I understand. I love Hollywood too. But in these examples, I'm going to show you how, if you just understand how, even if you do think it's a ball, a globe, it's just still beneficial to you. But you'll just learn how to integrate sections like this where you see levels. Because what you want to understand about these green lines, if you're a ball person, or if your earth is a ball person, that these green lines are the belts. Like the Van Allen belts, the Kuiper belt, the asteroid belt. I forgot what they actually call that one. I think that's the Kuiper belt. Though all of the belts, the atmospheres too, like the tropospheres, the mesosphere, all those levels. These are levels. These same levels are represented in each and every person. Equally. Everybody has the same access to it all. That's why they exist. Because they have the same access to it all. No matter, even if they were born of an abomination, incest bred. Even if you're incest bred, you still have levels. I don't care. You are the determiner of your reality. You're the constructor. You are the reality constructor. You are. Source respect. But if you choose to not want to accept that consciously, there are constructs and programs and entities that have created things and societal norms that will allow you to rest that part of your intelligence on the reliance of them, which as a result you are now being used because no one can take care of you better than you. No matter what. The only time it turns into an apparent, see, this is what happens when you go into levels, you get a little source itch. The only time it changes when, from an infant. That's the beauty of it. But when you have an infant, the misconception is, oh, it's yours. No, it's not. You're in charge of raising. It's another person. It's another person. So you have to give them that freedom of understanding. If you don't know how to give it to yourself, you're gonna entrap them with your imprisonment that you think is glorified. Even your attempts at trying to give them the freedom you perceive you didn't have. If you do not love yourself while trying to do this, you will still imprison them, and even harder than you did with yourself. You will do this. There is no way around it, because you have to clear the gateway. This is why it will not be efficient to love anyone else until you love yourself first, for real, all aspects of yourself, knowing all sides of yourself, all dark parts. You're going to challenge yourself. You're going to do things. You're going to risk things. You know, be aware of people. Anybody that says don't ever do anything, well then, if this thing that they're saying don't ever do is inflicting harm on the physical vessel, on anyone else, including your own, or robbing someone in any way, even etherically, yes, attempted robbery, even though you could, technically, when you're in tune with yourself enough, nobody can touch your ether. But if you're not aware, people are always out for your energy. And if you're not aware, you're happily giving it to them, calling yourself happiness, even though you sulk in misery. Let it go, flow into the source, respect, blossom, separate. Allow disconnect of viruses. Allow transmutation of self. Allow integration of self-honesty. This is health, too. I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I am here to coach you, to help you to love yourself, to understand energy, to transmute your energy, to know your energy self, because energy is the all. Look up things. Allow yourself to know how the ether works within you, how it uses itself through you, for you to manifest you. You are a representation of the projection that is the now. If you allow yourself to be honesty that is within you, the admittance of self. Let go of this word, not because of anything else, because you're disrespecting the number 11. For all you numbers, you think you know 11? You want to know the master number 11? Well, when you dare to use this word and not understand how it can be totally outed from your vocabulary, doesn't mean you gotta be afraid of saying it for references, but it doesn't, but also how to understand when you're casting your spells. See, this is us down here on the ground, on the ether plane, where we was going at here. And when you look up into the sky, what do you tell yourself? Are you confident? When you breathe in, are you at, whatever you told yourself constantly is what the sky is going to give you. Is whatever God's going to send down to you. It's whatever you've been focused on. Where has your work been? Where has your energy gone? It doesn't matter what you think you successfully lie about. Whatever you internally focus on is the reward you're going to gain, is what you're asking for, the experience you're seeking based on what you constantly focus on internally. It doesn't matter what you successfully think you lie about. There are no successful lies. There are only distractions you are allowed temporarily time to have pleasure in until your now materialistic time is burned up through your choice of total choice of illusion worship, fear worship. So you have to know how to dominate your spells, your self-talk. You know, you have to know how to dominate your self-talk. And what is this? This is a learning of a little self-talk. Can allow, be you. So you want to immediately see when you say can't, you want to understand why you got to transmute that 11, transmute that can't into can allow. Transmute it into can allow. And then allow reduces back to a 9. So now you're on that pathway. If you understand a 9, look at my number videos, look at the number trips, anything titled a number in it, look at it. If you know it, click it. But the 9 is the ultimate form of completion, the last number of completion out of the third cycle of numbers. What are the cycle of numbers? 1, 2, 3 is the first cycle. 4, 5, 6 is the second cycle. 7, 8, 9 is the third cycle. And 10 would be the start of the ongoing cycles, the representation of how we know how to expand into this ultimately. Going into 26, and then that can even be expanded to, especially going into other languages. Some have more alphabets, Some alphabets have more letters, some alphabets have less. This is the one we're working with here, English. 9, the ultimate form of completion. On 3, 6, and 9, if you know anything about Tesla and energy, very important numbers, right? You know anything about numbers in general, very important numbers. But if you, the way I understand the spin on it, because I personify the gods here, because these are the levels of ether, they will be in the sky too, right? It doesn't have to be that way, just a way of understanding for you to understand what you're going on here. And what you're going on with your self-talk, your spell casting of yourself, your manifestation, creation ability, when you allow yourself to be you. Source respect, source appreciation. And people everybody's afraid of everything, right? Everybody is made of this. Everybody is consistent of this. Unless you know people in the middle of the ice, Antarctic, or in the Congo jungle who never exposed nothing, source respect, or but for the most part, everybody's made up of this. You know yourself through these. You know how to claim certain aspects of yourself. You feel certain aspects of yourself through the makeup of this, through the genetic makeup of this, of how you. It's all right. You're not the deficiency. You just got to know it. The deficiency is if you don't know it. The deficiency is if you shun your knowledge of this stuff. You are adequate. You just have to allow yourself to accept how you honestly are, to know your adequacy and beyond. Because your adequacy is fundamentally set at infinite potential. You have to tone it and hone it. You have, in other words, self-care is optimal. Source respect. And then everybody's afraid of, right? The 6, here we go. 1 and 2 is 3, and 3 is 6. There you go. 4 and 5 is 9, and 6 is 15. 15, you got to reduce. 1 and 5 is 6. There you go. There's 2 6s, 2 cycles, 2 6s reduced. 7 and 8, 9, 7 and 8 is 15, and 9 is 24. That's 6. 6, 3 cycles. That's 6 neutrons, 6 protons, 6 electron. The man, the human. Let go of fear, embrace the knowledge. Let go of the fear worship, embrace the knowledge. No self, know thyself. Allow, reduce to 9, get on par with that universal connectivity. The 9, the humanitarian, the philanthropist, however you pronounce it, you understand, the humanitarian, the ultimate connection. You understand also, these are instant reminders to embrace your divine child. 3, 6, and 9, your infinite potential of creation. This doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 99 years old, understand you're just trying to remember that you're 18 years old, and understand beyond that, you're trying to remember that 9 years old energy. And here you go, here's your gift to you from me to you. How to resource yourself now. If you optimize the vessel who knows how to optimize energy expulsion to energy transmutation, then you can understand how the vessel will come in tow with you in understanding the age reduction and physical being. Allow the power of now. Source respect. That's the allow. Alright. Then the B, allow B reduces to 7, U reduces to 7. Hold that. 77. That's the 14. It reduces to 5. So 9, 11, 9, 5. 34 reduces to 7. Understand the ability to infinitely appreciate your surroundings in the moment, because what you are surrounded by in this now immediate moment is all the indication you need to know that you are absolutely worthy to expand yourself and be the epitome of love that you know you want to be or can be, that you think you don't deserve. You may have to admit what you don't deserve, but this admittance is the acknowledgement that you are allowed the forgiveness, that you are the worthiness. You are allowed. Go on. You will not know things until you challenge yourself. It doesn't mean be a reckless idiot. It means do things within dignity, knowing the fundamentals of base energy, knowledge, and then work accordingly to know how to expand your energy, to know yourself. You are the reality constructor, so you have to be wary of anything that's saying, don't ever, if as long as it's not bodily harm against anyone, or or trying to rob anything from anyone in any type of way, even etherically, then you are allowed to learn yourself. Get wise, get intelligent, and know the the truth of the energy, because that's all there really is. The fear is nothing more than the indication of your soul's craving to absorb the energy, to claim the omnipotence of self in the physical vessel. The way you would know it in any of these ether realms, these entities that live in these realms, because if you go up, there's entities that live in each realms. Check out some of these resources to know this more deeply. Do your own research, but there's entities with different vessels, more energy-based, less carbon-based, less physical-based. They live in these realms. The way they know that they're power, you have a light to know this through a vessel, but you have to know certain guidelines. You have to know certain energy worship. You're not just gonna, have a diet of. You have to know blend of balance of optimization through for ego preference, right? Because even at your healthiest, the desire to eat something like meat is not essential, because you will survive elongated without it. That's proven. But does that mean you should never eat meat? Listen, my advice would be, for a grand scale, for people to understand, and people that just don't want to let it go, hey, have it 4 times a year. Listen to your body. They say when you digest it, your body takes about 8 weeks to do it. So then that means you shouldn't eat it again until your body's had time to digest it, and then time to get healthy after digesting it, before you indulge it again. Because when your body is telling you that if it's still digesting it, then your body's telling you you're no matter what, a certain amount of energy is going to be divulged to digesting that thing. And the longer you off-put it, the more it's going to affect your ability to intake, because the human being constantly has source energy coming in through the vessel. It's particularly the solar plexus. It's an energy intake, which is the solar plexus is right in your belly, the 3rd chakra, or the 4th, however you want to look at it. From the bottom up is the 3rd. Anyhow, you want to be clean. You want to know how to be balanced. Yes, you can have preferences, but you got to know your balances first to know how to optimize your preferences. You got to do the admittance first, the optimization, the cleanse first, and then you'll know the admittance of a preference for yourself. That's the route. They say get admittance first. You got to admit what allows you to be, to cleanse it all out, and then know your preferences and latch on. That's the source respect. You got to be careful out here. Be careful of the truthers who are saying, you'll be doomed. You'll be doomed. Look, it's not about dooming. It's about caring. We are no one to doom anyone to anything. It doesn't matter what they're doing. The dooming is just, nonetheless, no matter what. Anybody that's saying, oh, you're going to be dead. This is a form of a prison, still self-imposed by the person making the proclamation. You are the reality constructor. You have to have the intimacy. The intimacy of relationship with self means know why you're still dabbling in things. Admit to yourself so you can know what and why you're doing, so you can have it sanctified. If your all quests are in the search for knowledge of self consciously, as much as you can have gathered up, then you have a right to embark on any learning you want, because you are the reality constructor. So you can allow be you. You can allow be you. That's the 7. That was it. That was the source now, source respect. Allow the power. Allow the now. Will you allow the power of your now? Source respect, source appreciation, source energy, source prosperity.